and welcome back to my channel. Today is June 1st and that means it's time for a June TBR. I've picked 10 books to read in June and I will show them to you now. Let's start with the books I already began in May. And the first one is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. It's a dark academia book and I already read about 100 pages. I started this with 2 friends and we buddy read this book. So yeah, we will continue this month and I'm very curious about the story because I don't know much after these 100 pages, but I like the storytelling and the mystery. And yeah, the synopsis says: under the influence of a charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at a New England college discover a way of thought and life a world away from their banal contemporaries. But their search of a transcendent leads them down a dangerous path beyond human constructs of morality. That's The Secret History. The next book I already began is 1 Second to Love by Kristina Moninger. It's a book that's only available in German, so I will not tell you so much about it, but it's the first book of a 4-book series and it's part romance, part mystery and suspense. The romance is about Jake and Avery. I'm not good with names. And yeah, Avery fell in love with Jake a few years ago, but it's complicated between these two. And the mystery part is about a girl who gone missing a few years ago. Avery and a few others were friends with her and now they investigate in the missing girl. The next book I began yesterday is Powerful by Lauren Roberts, the novella to Powerless, and it tells the story from Edina, Peyton's best friend. Beware of spoilers because this book tells Edina's story while Peyton is in the purging trials, and I'm really sure this will spoil the end of Powerless. I read the first 60 pages yesterday and I like it so far. I love the writing style of Lauren Roberts. And yeah, I will continue today. And here we have the synopsis of Powerful. Edina and Peyton have always been inseparable. Fate brought them together when they were young, but friendship ensured they would always protect each other and the home they built in the slums of Loot Alley. But now Peyton, an ordinary, has been selected for the purging trials, which means almost certain death. Now alone on Loot, Edina must fend for herself. But after she attempts to steal, a mysterious man from the market comes to her rescue. Mac's shadowy past and secretive power set him apart from the other low-level elites of Loot. A quick side note from editing Sabrina. Yeah, I know that my English is not perfect and I'm making mistakes. I notice them when I'm editing. And yeah, I'm obviously not a native speaker and I use this form of videos to practice my English and to gain confidence in speaking English. And that's why I do this video in English and not in German. So yeah. Back to the video. The next book is Ruling Destiny by Alyson Noël. It's the second part of the trilogy. This book is about time travel. The first book is named, I forgot the title, Stealing Infinity. The first book was okay, so I hope the second book gets better, and I will read the synopsis of Stealing Infinity because this will contain spoilers. These days I've been killing it when it comes to letting people down. Now I've been kicked out of high school, arrested and accepted into a remote, off-the-grid school owned and operated by an inscrutable billionaire tech guru. Grey Wolf Academy is looking for a certain kind of student, one that no one will miss, like me. Then there's Braxton, the beautiful, oddly anachronistic guy who showed up right when the trouble started, and he's total enigma. Which means that I definitely can trust him, and even if there's something about him that makes me want to. They all tell me I have a gift, a very rare gift, and Grey Wolf Academy wants me to learn it, to use it, because if what they say is true, I have all the time in the world, and that makes me the most dangerous high school student you'll ever know. The next book is an ARC I received at the end of May. It's House of Beating Wings by Olivia Wildenstein. I'm really curious about this and will read it soon. So it's on my June TBR. And yeah, and it is also beautiful sprayed edges. The synopsis says, let me Google the English one because that's German. Until an oracle predicted my regal future, I'd never imagined myself rising above the curve of my round ears. After all, I was the magicless halfling loved by beasts, but loathed by every pure-blooded fairy at court. Well, by all but one. Dante Reggio, Prince of Luz, had owned my heart since he gave me my first kiss. If gathering a slew of iron relics could help me overthrow the current monarch and crown his brother to rule at my side, then treasure hunting I'd go. If only the oracle had warned me what winged demon I was releasing into the world, and that I'd become this demon's obsession. Then we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I'm really interested in this and can't wait to read this. It's fantasy, I think. Something like fantasy, and yeah, I don't know much about it, except everyone loved this book, and yeah, I'm really curious. Also, beautiful sprayed edges. So let's read the synopsis. So begins The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, shadow muse to artists throughout the history, forgotten friend, confidant and lover, slipping away with the morning light. Addie passes through lives, desperate only to leave a trace of herself, until the day she walks back into a small bookshop in Manhattan and meets Henry, who remembers her. After 300 years, Addie's life is restarting, but the devil never plays fair. As Henry and Addie's lives start to intertwine, they must face the consequences of the decisions they've made and the prices to be paid. Then we have a book you might know, Yours Truly by Abby Jiménez. I've heard so much about this author, so much good things, that I really have to buy this in May, and now I want to read it in the summer. So June is the perfect opportunity. I don't know anything about the story because all I want to know is BookTube love it, and here we are. Also beautiful sprayed edges in the German version. Dr. Brianna Ort's life is seriously flatlining. Her divorce is just about finalized, her brother running out of time to find a kidney donor, and that promotion she wants? Oh, that's probably going to the new man doctor who's already registering 80-7 on Brianna's pain in my scale. But just when all systems are set to hate, Dr. Jacob Maddox completely flips the game by sending Brianna a letter. And it's a really good letter. Like the kind that approves that Jacob isn't actually Satan. Worse, he might be this fantastically funny and subversively likable guy who's terrible at first impressions. Because suddenly he and Bri are exchanging letters, sharing lunch dates in her sub-closet, and discussing the merits of freakishly tiny horses. But when Jacob decides to give Brianna the best gift imaginable, a kidney for her brother, she wonders just how she can resist the quietly sexy new doctor, especially when he calls in a favor she can't refuse. And now we have 2 books that are only available in German. The first one is J by Stefanie Ross. It's a romantic thriller, romantic suspense. It's a second book of a 5-book series, all standalone, interconnected, because the protagonists are related. This male character is an FBI agent. Yeah, that's all I remember about this. It's a reread because I want to finish this series. And then we have another German book, The Witches of Silent Creek. It's a fantasy book about witches. That's all I know about it. So we will find out what this is about. My neighbor gave it to me last year, and yeah, I want to read it and want to find out if I want to read the second book. And then we have one last book, and that's Engelsblut. That's the 3rd book in the Guild Hunter series by Nalini Singh. I have read the first 4 books in the series a long time ago, so I'm now listening to the series so I can continue the books. Yeah, it's fantasy. It's about angels and vampires and people that hunting each other. Also have a romance story, but I will not say much about it because this is the 3rd book about this couple. This is the first book in English in the Guild Hunter series, Archangels' Blood, and I will read the synopsis for you. Vampire hunter Elena Devereaux is hired by the dangerously beautiful Archangel Raphael. But this time it's not a wayward vamp she has to track. It's an Archangel gone bad. The job will put Elena in the midst of a killing spree like no other, and pull her to the razor's edge of passion. Even if the hunt doesn't destroy her, succumbing to Raphael's seductive touch just may. For when archangels play, mortals break. Yeah, that's all I want to read in June. Maybe I'll read a little bit out of this list, but time will tell. It's a lot, it's heavy. But I'm optimistic that I will finish my TBR. We will see if it's true at the end of June or at the beginning of July. And yeah. Like, comment and subscribe if you wanna, and that's all for me today.